What is going on, my beautiful people? This is your certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. How are you guys doing this week? I'm excited because my birthday is in a week. And you know what? I just want to give all of the coaching away and give all the money away that I can, but I just can't financially. So, what I'm doing instead is I am here to help you guys heal throughout your situations. If you're struggling in your relationships, whatever the situation is, I am here to answer all questions right now. If you guys are online or if you're catching the replay, I'll try my best at responding to you guys in the comments section. But as we get started here, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notifications. I don't know how much it really matters if you hit the notifications nowadays anyway, but that little bell, it lets you know whenever I'm about to go live or whenever I'm posting new content. So do me a favor. As a thank you to the channel, subscribe or like the channel. All right. Like the content that I provide and join this community here, because one thing that I learned is healing requires community. Getting through breakups, heartache, relationship woes, losing your jobs, it doesn't matter. Community is what matters. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys as always. It says Facebook user. It doesn't say your name. Someone even made a burner account to be here. That's cool. I'm just kidding. All right. So I have some quotes here that I want to share with you guys today that I've been posting on my Facebook page. And I think that these quotes are something that a lot of people experience. So I want to share that as well as answer questions from you guys. Hey, Renee. Yeah, I don't know why your account does that, but it's really interesting how it does. But yeah, it says Facebook user. Do me a favor, shadow banning you. So bounce over here to YouTube instead to help boost my analytics. And if you guys are in here, do me a favor and like this for me, all right? Like this to send out the feed to let people know that we're here. And if they have some questions that they have, maybe it'll help you guys out. So I'm essentially doing this to help, all you guys out, being the person that has started this community to kind of be the leader. Our first business was called Strength Through Leadership. Now this one's more along the lines of like me planting little seeds of nuggets into your mind to contemplate on to get you through your day. So the quote that I have here is, when you have a big heart, you'll tolerate the dysfunction because of the person's sad past. At some point, that shouldn't matter anymore. You should be more concerned about your sad future. All right, I'll read that again. When you have a big heart, you'll tolerate the dysfunction because of the person's sad past. At some point, that shouldn't matter anymore. You should be concerned about your sad future. And I'm not trying to blast people. I don't want to make people feel some type of way about having a certain attachment style, about having certain traumas in their past. I understand that. That's one thing I enjoyed learning about was trauma when I was going through my coaching training and when I was going through school. Learning about people's traumas, becoming a more trauma-informed coach is something that I feel a lot of coaches need to do. You have to be mindful about what a person has been through, because there are certain things that you can say that can trigger them, that can put them in a really bad mental state. So it's important that as coaches, we do our due diligence, almost like, and I'm not saying you have to model a therapist model, but you should have this lens that, all right, I can't just like victim blame. I can't be making them feel some type of way about where they're at in their journey, because they're not at where a lot of people are. And when you're going through breakups, when you're trying to learn these things about yourself and about other people, it's nice to have someone to just sit with you in your experience and understand that you're not there yet. All right, breaking it down. Thank you. I'm about to be the big 40. If you guys have turned 40 before, let me know what it's like. And I reached out to a couple of old clients, and they were actually pretty informative about what I have going on for the next decade, this next leg in my life, next chapter. But so that's the one quote. What do you guys think about that quote? Give me a thumbs up if you like that one. There's another quote I have here. Um, I sit here and I think about these in between calls. There's a thing too about being self-employed. I have a lot of time to read, a lot of time to just reflect and meditate. I think about a lot of life issues. And another quote that I have is, it's ironic how love can help you heal, but at the same time, loving the wrong person can make you sick. Give me a thumbs up. Put a one in the chat if you ever had that happen to you before. If you ever had it where you loved the wrong person and it made you physically ill. I'm talking about the gut feeling, that knot in your stomach that you get when you're insecurely attached to someone, when you can't eat, you can't sleep, or when you're trying to uh, detach yourself from someone. Give me a thumbs up. I got one like. I have a lot of people in here. Please do me a favor, boost it up for me. If you're not on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, bounce over to YouTube, Facebook, bounce to YouTube, thumbs up, appreciate that. Can you really work on being secure out of a relationship? It feels like the only way to work on it is in a relationship, because that's when you really see and understand what triggers you. I am so glad you brought that up, Michelle, because I tell people all the time when they say, I'm going to be single, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to heal myself. I say, well, that's not really how it works. How to learn how to be in a healthy relationship requires you actually being in a relationship. Now, I'm not saying being full blown, but dipping your toe in the water for sure. Because what happens is you form this insecure, or this, what would you call it? False sense of security by being out of a relationship. Because then you're just becoming more of an avoidant, right? How can you learn if you're doing the right things? How can you know that you're doing the right things as far as like moving in the right direction and you're healing, if you're not putting these things to practice? The analogy that I like to use is like, think about Kobe Bryant. Once he lost that one championship game, he flew right back out to his old town, went to the high school that he was at, and shot free throws all night long. But how many people lose that game and say, I'm never touching a basketball again for the next 3 months? How's that working out for you in relationships, right? Because what you should really be doing is breaking down what the relationship was, doing your journaling, doing your reflections, realizing what you did, how you showed up, what you could have done better next time. And then you get back out there. Relationships are work. It really is. And I think people feel, and this is one thing I think that the media and the movies, they give you this unrealistic view of what it takes to be in a relationship. This is why I like the shows that they put out that give you this really raw, gritty, and relatable experience about what real relationships should look like. I like those shows because those are the ones that can be teaching people at the same time, entertaining them. Can you see my thumbs up? I see the thumbs up. It's easy to feel secure alone. Yeah, you think you're doing it right. You're like, man, I don't get anxious. So you start dating again. Maybe the first couple months you're like, I don't get anxious. I'm good. I don't need to know where that person's at. I'm healed. And then you have that one occurrence where they don't text you back within the next day or so, and you're like, or within the 12 hours at least, and you're like, okay, it's happening again. Is everything okay? We good? And then you think back, man, I've been single for about 3 years, got back into this relationship dynamic, and I still haven't healed. I'm still showing up the same way that I was showing up in my last relationship. It's because it's a false sense of security. Right? So yeah, great. You can be out of a relationship for 5 years. That doesn't equate healing. You have to put yourself in the ball game to know if you can actually score. I don't know if that analogy works, but give me thumbs up. I only have 3 likes. I'm concerned about that. I mean, it's real simple here. Help me out. Not only physically sick, I'm living in a hotel after 15 years of hard work because I've been deactivated from one day to another. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I feel for you, brother. I really do. I know exactly how it feels. I've been there. This is just a season. I'm looking out right now and it's snowing. The season has changed, but the season never stays, right? The season always changes, always. So, wishing you prayers for healing and support. I hope my content is helping you out to get you through this tough season. But thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Let me catch up here. How can I identify the attachment style in the initial stages of dating? Okay, so this is multiple questions here. I'm gonna answer them, break them down. How can I identify the attachment style in initial stages of dating? You can't. That's that answer. How do secure people behave versus avoidance? Avoidant people can actually show up secure in the beginning stages of the relationship. It's not until you get to the power struggle is when you start to realize that this person isn't showing up the same way that they were in the beginning. No, they can look secure all across the board, but until you reach that initial conflict, until you start to try to take it to the next stages of the relationship, that's when you're going to realize that this person is most likely has some type of insecure attachment. I learned that they have insecure attachment only months after when I'm ready, already attached. Exactly what I just said. If y'all chose the chat box, you can see the thumbs up button. Appreciate that. Thanks for helping me out. Married to avoidant, and I just found out he's cheating. We've been separated for 6 months, and I'm devastated. Now, you make so many sacrifices, you really diminish your needs, and you show up for that person, and then you realize that they're not even being faithful. That is devastating because it's like, why? I've done all of this. I've done all this work, all this walking on eggshells and trying to accommodate you and your needs, and then you do that. It is devastating. I feel for you, Teresa. I really do. I have an email here that just came through. Let me check it real quick. All right, I told this guy I was going to answer this one for him. Okay, yeah, I'll answer this later. It's kind of long. I'll answer it later. So yeah, long story short, you can't identify an attachment style early, and honestly, it's a work for therapists to be honest. Um, there are certain characteristics that you can see, right away, but as far as like knowing exactly, because who actually go into relationships and are asking these people about their history and ask them about their relationship with their mom and their dad and their siblings, or even what their old relationships were like, because most people don't even talk about their previous relationships. They'll just act like it didn't exist, and I think that it's very good information to have how a person showed up in their last relationships, who was to blame for the breakup. Like there's any blame, sometimes relationships just don't work out more times than not, but who wasn't showing up is the question. Yeah, a lot of therapists aren't familiar with attachment styles. And, a lot of people that I coach say that too, where, they have either older therapists or people who, because they go into a different like niche down their therapy, and certain information and certain topics or just certain theories in particular just aren't something that um, they're interested in. So I have this one, her name Johansson. She was the one that like introduced emotional focused therapy, um, or she's like the person that really knows about emotional focused therapy. Go look her up. I want to say her name's Johansson, but she is one of the people who talks a lot about attachment styles and how to navigate relationships, to navigate the dynamics when a person has those attachment wounds. So if you have a therapist that hasn't studied her model and actually applied her model, then you won't hear anything about attachment styles really. It's more of a systematic approach. But That's just my 2 cents. I don't know everything, but hopefully that helps. I was engaged to an avoidant, and after I broke up with him, he confessed he was thinking of cheating on me every time we had a fight. I can feel your pain. And that cheating thing is a way to just bring some type of barrier between you and him. Um, it's a subconscious thing. It's a way to like, I don't know if it was, I'm not going to use narcissist because I don't know, but it is a way for him to try to put distance. I don't know if it's like the shame or the guilt that he feels from being the one to blame. If it was like an argument that went around him doing something wrong, or what it was, but there's no need to try to justify it. But that's actually kind of interesting that he shared that information. You know, that took some vulnerability there. All right, any more questions? Any more questions? Thumbs up if you're not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe. Click that little subscribe button. Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn this thing off, or this banner gets on my nerves sometimes. Click the little subscribe button. I'm probably going to end this live session, but this has been good. Thank you for being here. Before I leave, though, let me know where everybody's from. I'm in Wisconsin, like I talked about. Here, it's snowing right now. Let me know where you're at. If you're in sunnier conditions, it would be kind of cool to know that. Let me live vicariously through you. And if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, Israel, California, do comment that in the comment section. If you want a topic, if you have a topic you want me to touch on, let me know. Last night I saw a video of him at a club kissing some lady. I texted him, called him last night, no response. I'm glad I've been seeing a therapist for 2 years. California, a lot of Californians, probably because it's 7 o'clock there. Florida, what time is it in Florida? Is it 10:30? Going on 10:30? I think you guys might be an hour ahead. But either way, thank you guys for once again. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's I am Coach Court. I post quotes pretty much every day. Facebook, I'm on there pretty much every day. I don't know what I'm going to be doing out this next week. I may take some time off, for to celebrate the 40th, going to New York, baby. So always remember, when you go be love, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.